Hello everybody, John here, and today on To The Garage we continue a story I began in the first video where I shared that I've been gifted this 1997 XK8 coupe by one of our subscribers. It's not yet roadworthy due to an MOT failure related to corrosion, and it does have quite a few other issues. So next we bring up the question of, so what are you going to do with this, John? And I wish I could answer you, but it's going to go one of two ways. And I will be interested in the input from all of you guys who are watching right now. So get going on the comments below this video. Let me know your thoughts. Ultimately, it will be me who decides. It's not sort of a majority vote thing, but I'm genuinely influenced by your thoughts on this. Direction one is I get this car back on the road. So it does need some suspension work on the front left. That's relatively easy. That's not an issue. The welding that needs to be done at the other left-hand corner on the back is unknown to me yet. I've not even looked. Genuinely, I've not looked. I suspect I can picture what it's like, and it will need significant welding and time and effort to put right. Now, I can weld. I'm not a good welder. As it would be unseen welding, I think I could probably get away with doing it. Depending on what needs doing, if it's simple folded panels, then I can buy steel, I can do the bending and the cutting, and I could get this back to roadworthy. I may even be able to buy a repair panel for the area underneath that is needed. On the other side of this particular direction, I could send the car, again I'd have to pay for somebody to move it, to somebody who does that sort of thing for a living, and get them to get it roadworthy again for me. Now, I haven't looked into it, and I literally haven't looked under the car on purpose because I'm saving that for all of us to enjoy. My instinct is there's no way that I can deliver it to somebody and ask them to weld it back to it'll pass the MOT standard, and I get the car back for less than £1,000. We'll look into it, but that's avenue one. And if I go down avenue one, I've got to ask myself, what's the end game for the car? I can't drive two Jaguars at the same time. Purdy is my absolute passion, and she's convertible, which is my preference. I love a coupe. There's definite arguments on styling for both. This is going to be the quieter, more secure vehicle. My convertible is ready for sunshine when it peaks out, and again, arguable whether it's better looking. I think it is, but it's a close run thing. So am I going to run two Jaguars? I'm not a wealthy person. I do okay. I'm not on the breadline. Please don't pity. You know I've got several vehicles around me. But do I really want another tax, another MOT, another insurance? Bear in mind, I will have no additional no claims to put onto this vehicle for a car that will barely get driven because I've got the convertible as well. But it would be fun just for a little while and give some great entertainment and videos on the compare contrast of the coupe convertible stuff. At the end of that journey, I've also got the option of selling the car on. And again, to our subscriber donor of this, I've made it quite clear all the possibilities for this car. And he has no issues with me generating income. He knows that I've got to outlay an awful lot of time and or money, no matter which route I go down. So that's all cool. So I could sell the car at the end of it. And assuming I get the car back on the road, if it was just a running good XK8, it's got a fair number of other little issues, meaning that it's probably worth I can easily fast sell it for £2,500, £3,000. Gone. Which means I'll probably get my money back. If I wanted to make it a nice car, and I think this has potential to be a nice car, there are a lot of other jobs that need doing on it to make it a nice car. And if it was a nice car, it's an early standard coupe, non-R. You know, it's never going to be showroom or pristine. It's never going to quite match the standard I've got Purdy at. We're probably looking at, you could maybe make this thing worth about 5,000 or 6,000 in the current climate. Will it go up in value over time? Sure, if I hang on to it long enough. So that's all Avenue A. Avenue A, get it all back and try and restore it. Or Avenue B. Avenue B is where, having looked at all the equations and all of the issues that this vehicle has and made a decision that it's complete madness to spend the time, money and effort on it, because remember, I wasn't looking for another XK8, then I could slowly disassemble this vehicle, which would feel a little bit sacrilegious, but it's dead at the moment, and use that to generate plenty of videos showing people how things are fitted and therefore removed, and use this as a little bit of a parts car donor car for Purdy to keep her on the road. There are a few little items on this already that I'm eyeing up thinking, that could be switched onto Purdy. But probably more fundamentally, offer parts at a very reasonable cost to you guys, the subscribers. So, you know, the most obvious thing, and don't circle like vultures on this, guys, it's got two headlights. If you've ever tried to buy a headlight for one of these, you'll know that each headlight is worth second-hand several £100s. It's ridiculous, but they're getting hard to get. So if I decided to make video 1, remove the headlights, then I could show how they're fitted, how they're removed, talk a little bit about those, and at the end stick it on my website, on the store page, on a first come first serve basis, and put a reasonable price tag on it, you know, sort of sub £100, something like that. And very slowly the car would disappear in front of our eyes. We'd really learn a lot about what makes these things tick, and at the end of it I'd be left with a blob of metal that I'll have to cut up with a disc cutter and then get the local skip man to try and collect. And again, because it wouldn't be a car at that stage, I would be paying to have the remnants removed, but the parts would more than have compensated me for that. In fact, it would almost certainly be a profitable venture, given that it's got what I believe to be a nice engine, nice gearbox, etc, etc. So either route gives us lots of video entertainment and lots of entertainment for me. Either route could be just about made to wash its face in terms of not costing me too much. And regardless of which way I jump, before I start work on this car, there is already a series of videos that are in mind, such as some side-by-side comparisons where I can literally show some of the differences, benefits, quirks, coupe to convertible. The differences in the specs between these cars. Like I said, this is a full leather pack. That next door is a leather pack plus wood sport trim. What's the difference? Etc, etc. So I can share quite a few bits and pieces comparing these two cars, and then I've got a video that I've got to do soon because I'm too excited to leave it too long, making the big list of what things does this vehicle need to make it roadworthy, then the bigger list of what are all the things that are wrong with this car, what would you need to do to make it a real nice one. I think it'd be really interesting to do that together live on video, go around the outside, do the inside, check everything, see if it works, get it on the ramp, go underneath, and we make that big list together. And that will help inform my choice, I think, as to whether to go around route A of restore in the lightest possible sense, or disassemble in the broadest possible sense. I guess there is a third angle, and this third angle would only really emerge after I've done a dozen or more videos, you know, the compare contrast, the making the list, showing what needs to be done on this vehicle. As I come to my decision point, there may be a third option, and that is, this is a decent project. Somebody else in the community, and I'll have to limit this to the UK for obvious reasons, somebody else in the community might want to take this on as a project to put back on the road. At that stage it would definitely be it's got to go back on the road and I want it written down, rather than break for parts. And maybe we could come to an arrangement where, covering my costs to get it to where I've got it to, this moves on and somebody else takes on the project. I know there are folks out there who comment on the video saying they're after a car that has known issues that they could take on, knowing exactly what it was they were getting into, and you know, they want a cheap Jag. But what they don't want is a cheap, complete unknown entity where they don't know what they're getting into. So many options. I'm sure you can imagine how proud I am to have been given this vehicle. It's amazing how excited I am to have all these great projects, all these great videos spinning around in my head. And I hope you recognise that I genuinely think it's going to be fun, the communication with all you guys and getting your input on it. So it feels like I got friends in my garage with me. We're certainly not going to go around the vehicle checking out what works and what doesn't work today, because that's definitely for another day, and I've got to go off and do some work shortly. But you know, you'd all cry wolf if I didn't start the car just to let you hear. That's from icy cold. That was started when I drove it off the back of a transporter yesterday. Other than that, it stood at about 2 degrees in my back garden for the last 18 hours. So, what do you think? Well, exciting. Still carrying a tax disc. 2014, that was the last time that physical tax discs were a thing in the UK, and it's still got it. He's done 118,718 miles.
I can't unsee the things I saw when I first I saw the sun. There was a warmth, there was a feeling that no matter how hard I try, I can't describe. There was a love, there was a meaning. I've never been so happy that I'm still alive. 'Cause I'm blinded by you, and I'd rather go blind than go without. Your eyes are enough to make a hopeless situation full of light. I guess it must be true. The future lives in you. The future lives in you. Yeah, the future lives in you. I guess it must be true. The future lives in you.
So I hope you're all excited too. And don't worry, Freddie, you're still my favourite. And while we're all here, it's February. So hello to our new February star car. So this is Tristan Wofford's photo at Sarasota, Florida in the US. 2000 Sapphire Blue Jaguar XKR Coupe, 22,000 miles. Absolutely dream low mileage. Fabo. And note, no front number plate. Grrr. So jealous, so jealous. And I can't pass by without mentioning one of the thumbnails is a white XKR early car. How rare. In the UK we just didn't get white XK8s. They were possible, they no doubt existed, but I don't think I've ever seen a white XK8 in person. If anybody does want a calendar, I still have some, so I know it's a little late in the year, but if you do want one, go on the website and order one up and I'll send it over. Bye. If you just go to Amazon/shop/to-the-garage, and I'll put that link in the description below so that you can just click on it. It takes you to a To The Garage area of Amazon that is categorized into hand tools, power tools, gadgets and gizmos, things specifically the XK8, etc. that I've bought from Amazon over the years so that you can follow the same links and have a look, see how much those cost at the moment. Nice little feature. Thank you, Amazon. If you're enjoying our channel, then don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon so you get notifications of new videos. And please give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, and you can share the videos. And below the video is always the area where you can comment and get involved with the chat.